Hey, Bruce. I think one of the things that players like is that you've always done a good job, especially with veteran players, of giving them their legs back and giving them rest. So after 3 days, you got a day off tomorrow. Just talk about, whether it's Gronk or Tom or whomever, just keeping those guys fresh at this point of the year.
Yeah, I mean, when you have guys, 30, 32, over 43, you gotta manage it for them and help them, and for us right now, it's not how important it is right now. It's get them to get into those games healthy and fresh. And so, yeah, I guess the NBA coined the term load management. It's always just that day off, but it is, I think, a very smart thing for those guys who hit that certain age of and experience, and might be a repetition day of something that's already in. So you don't really need it. You know what I
mean? And with respect to Gronk, I mean, we know what a good football player he is. He somehow came off retirement and did what he did, right? And then when he got in the biggest game, he had a couple touchdowns. But what does he bring to your team beyond? I mean, how do you quantify, his personality, just his, another guy like Brady that has been in this fight and tried to defend championships and things like that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people get caught up with Gronk, the personality, and don't see the worker. I mean, he's in early. He hates making mistakes. He's meeting with Rick constantly after practice, before practice, and like a day to day. I mean, he's paying a ton of attention. He's gonna watch that tape meticulously, and he does have a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to be around. And I love just chewing his ass out just to say, yeah, right, dude.
Okay.
All right, we'll go over to Greg Allman.
Hey, Bruce. We saw Brady up there on a day off, lining up a corner briefly, taking some handoffs in the backfield, kind of playing to the fans a little bit. Even before practice started, we kind of saw him a little bit more comfortable, candid in his comments. He's making some. Have you seen him loosen up a bit here? Has Tampa kind of rubbed off on him a little bit, you think?
Yeah, I think Tom's very, very comfortable in our locker room and with our coaches and our fans. And I think that personality is showing more and more. And I love seeing it, but yeah, I told him driving in today, so put your coaching hat on. This is a coaching day for you. And, when he can sit back and watch, he sees a lot of things that he didn't see playing and can coach those other guys up. So it's a win-win situation.
Thanks, Bruce.
We'll go over to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Bruce, just want to get your perspective on how Robert Hainsey looked with the ones today, getting his first action as the starting center with Jensen out.
Yeah, other than the first snap of the practice, I thought he had a really, really good practice. He was solid, did a really fine job a couple of times pulling and getting up on people, and identifications were good. It was a really solid day for him. He's getting better and better.
Devin made a lot of strides in pass coverage over the second half of the season, having those big interceptions in the postseason for you, and really just doing a better job in coverage overall. What do you attribute that to? Was it watching more film? Was it better technique? Was it just experience? So what made him a better player in coverage for you?
No, I got to thank all you guys in the media for that, telling him he couldn't cover. And he got pissed and kind of took it to heart. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Bruce.
We'll go over to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, I know tomorrow you're giving the guys have the day off. What are you hoping to get out of them after having that off day when they get back and reassemble for practice on Friday?
Yeah, we have to go back and stay in spiders one more day. But again, it's nothing sluggish. The first 15 minutes of practice should be our best, and no drop off whatsoever. But anytime we have a day off, some teams will really struggle to get going again. We didn't have that problem last year, and I doubt we'll have it again.
And also along those lines, what do you want to see in that final practice leading up to your first day in pads in that build up period?
Just continued growth, in all areas, and still really good competition, and then the skill guys, they're competing every day right now. It doesn't matter if they have pads or not. The pads are for the bigger guys, and can't wait to see that.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go over to Ira Kaufman.
Bruce, through the first 4 days of practice, have you noticed any hint, any shred of complacency at all? And I know you're very attuned to being on top of that.
No, I haven't seen any at all. There's been some great competition. I mean, you got a really good offense and a defense that thinks that they're as good or better, and they're out there trying to prove it every single snap. And I really love the work I'm seeing in special teams. There's a lot of competition, boy, a lot of competition on this team right now for jobs, and I don't see any complacency whatsoever.
And Bruce, what's your confidence level that this team will continue to be in the forefront of guarding against a COVID-19 outbreak?
Oh, I feel great. I mean, our guys are, a lot of guys are rethinking it, and but everybody's following the rules that are set for them. And I mean, the guys that are under the old rules, they know the rules, they know what it takes, and I wouldn't see any problems with anybody.
We'll go over to Steve Isbitz.
Coach, Devin White just said that you would never tell the team that they had a good practice, that you're being super detailed and letting everybody know what they're doing wrong and they need to do better. Is that a typical thing for you, or is that sort of maybe something a little bit heightened this year to guard against that complacency?
No, that's pretty much me every day. I want to make sure that all the good things we obviously see, but the little things have always been the last thing I want to say to them as they leave the field. So they're looking at it on tape and see it and can correct it.
And special teams was a huge focus, it seemed, of the draft, just getting better in that area in the offseason as a whole. Are you seeing some of that improvement on special teams? Are you seeing it from guys that you were looking for, as improvement on special teams?
Yeah, I think we'll see more of that in the preseason games, but the competition is really, really high. I don't think Keith's had to say hustle to anybody in a special teams period. They're working their asses off, and they know what's at stake. This is a very hard team to make.
Okay, we'll go back to Rick Stroud.
Bruce, you couldn't turn on a TV or listen to a radio show if they weren't talking about your team. They were talking about Aaron Rodgers and whether he would go back to the Packers now that he is going to play, and they've been to 2 straight NFC Championship games. Is this your biggest rival in terms of your ability to get back to a Super Bowl?
I think it's got to be one of the top 4. That's for sure. There's going to be some improvement in other teams that's going to surprise the hell out of everybody, like every year there is, but bringing back Aaron obviously makes them a contender for sure.
Thanks.
We'll go to Greg Allman.
Bruce, back to COVID and vaccines. I think the number league-wide is like 87% of players now have at least 1 shot. Just want to ask you if your team is above or below that line, and just how good you feel about bringing that number up here between now and the start of the season.
Oh yeah, I feel great about where we're at. I think we're just going to be better and better. I don't know if we'll hit 100, but we're going to be really, really close by that time.
Okay, thanks, Bruce.
We'll go over to Andrew Cassie. We have time for a few more.
Bruce, it sounds like from the guys that we've gotten a chance to talk to that they're really buying into your message of letting last year be last year. But I got to be honest, it sounds it hits different when coming from Gronkowski. And I would think that's because he's been in this situation before, being a member of a defending champ. How much easier does it make your job in trying to drive home that message, having guys in the locker room like Gronk and like Tom who have been through this and understand the concept of letting last year be last year?
Yeah, I think offensively, those guys, that's never going to be a problem offensively. Defensively, it's guys like Levante and Shaq, and JPP's been there. So they know what it takes. And our guys know what to film. When they look at the film, they know what work looks like and good work. So if it's not good work on tape, they'll address it. I don't have to say anything.
All right, we're going to go over to Karen Loftus and then close with one from Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Coach, Levante David was saying that he noticed that the rookies were just very eager to learn and they were asking a lot of questions. Have you noticed that from your perspective too, just them asking a lot of questions and this enthusiasm to soak everything up?
Oh, there's no doubt. And it's showing up on the field. I put that mental error and penalty sheet up every single day. And the defensive field too, I think had 5 yesterday. That's unheard of for rookies. And they outdid the field 1 every single day as far as being sharp and accountable and knowing what they're doing. So yeah, they're putting their time in and showing up on film.
All right, we'll close out with Scott Reynolds.
Bruce, when people talk about your depth at tight end, obviously it's Gronkowski, Cam Braid, OJ Howard. Those 3 guys were out today, but your tight end room goes deeper than that. Can you talk about Cody McElroy, Jarrell Adams, Tanner Hudson, the plays that they've been able to do, and really how deep that tight end room is for you beyond just Gronk, OJ, and Cam?
Yeah, Tanner's been around for a while. He's an excellent receiver, and but Cody McElroy had a hell of a day today and really flashed. Jarrell's another guy who had a big touchdown, but he's a blocking tight end who can do both. Cody's getting better at it, and so yeah, I think there's a lot of competition in that room right now. And again, special teams will decide.